Hey, what's up? It's Comic 95 the Savior, and for this video I will be ranting to you about something that really just irritated me this morning. I literally just woke up. I think it is 6:10 p.m. 6:10 a.m. and at the top of my feed when I was looking on social media, I immediately saw somebody giving a review of the Pokemon Cafe, and I thought it was ironic because I just got through recording my own review. I already made two separate videos, one teaching people how to make reservations, another one showing people what the experience was like, and then I finally made a longer video explaining my own personal opinion on breaking down everything such as the cost, making a reservation, everything else. Is it actually worth your money? And so it was really ironic that somebody also did sort of a similar review but in a written form. So this is in a form, and I couldn't help but notice that in the comment section there were tons of people that were attacking the person that posted their review. Now they were a lot more positive about it than mine was, even though I will be honest, mine I tried to maintain it, keep it a little bit balanced, but I wanted to be honest with you. I talked about the good points of it, which of course it goes without saying, if you're a fan of Pokemon, fine, you probably will enjoy going to the cafe. But realistically, if you were to take away your little, oh my god, I love Pokemon, and look at it from, a real perspective, was it worth the time and effort that I put in to get this reservation? Is it worth the money that I spent on food that doesn't taste good, isn't filling, and is cold? You would not pay for that same meal somewhere else. And I feel like a lot of people also have this mindset where because they're in Japan, everything that they eat and drink tastes and is good and is also of good quality. And it's like, oh, that's not true. I couldn't tell you how many times I've been in restaurants where the food was poor quality and it had, bug, rat, whatever type of infestations going on. And because it's Japan, of course, foreigners were cheered on, oh my god, it's Japan, the food is such high quality, Japan is in the future. And it's like, okay, whatever. So anyway, we're not going to get into that part for this video, but I will say this. I couldn't help but notice that this person giving their, honest, real opinion on this got her attacked, even though she didn't shit on Japan. She was just trying to warn people you might not want to make that reservation for the Pokemon Cafe. And on top of that, everybody didn't even read what she wrote, which it wasn't a lot to begin with, maybe about 2 paragraphs. And mind you, this entire forum is made to give advice for people that are traveling and visiting to Japan. Almost everyone got upset at her, and people were saying stuff like, oh, well, if you're a Pokemon fan, if you're not a Pokemon fan, you shouldn't go there. And I'm like, she clearly said her children are Pokemon fans, and they wouldn't even touch their food. They would only have their drinks because the food didn't taste good. Even with the little Pikachu plate and Pika's face, it was not enough to make them eat it. And on top of that, the hassle to get the reservation. So instead of people being like, oh, okay, well, my child actually enjoyed it, which that would be annoying too, people were mad at her, accusing her and her children of potentially not being real fans. And then instead of addressing the fact that, hey, the food does taste like shit, people are trying to give recommendations to justify why you should go. Well, that's because you got an actual meal. If you just get a dessert and if you just get drinks. Bitch, do you hear yourself? I'm gonna go through all of this shit, bend over backwards, break my back, and I'm just gonna get a drink, just gonna get a dessert? Come on now. Come on. If we just want a drink and a dessert, we go to Pikachu Sweets Cafe, alright? Even if you're going to go to both, let's just be real with ourselves. Let's acknowledge the fact this place is shit. Come on. And so again, I said from my own perspective, I would only go back to it because I like Pokemon. There is no other reason to go back to that show. It's not. Show is trash. Uniforms are somewhat cutesy, but I feel like they could have made it more into character too. It just wasn't worth it at all. It wasn't. Kinopio Cafe and USJ is better than this. And again, like I said, would I go back? Yeah, of course I would. But that's because I live here. If I'm visiting Japan, hell no, I wouldn't make a reservation there again. It's a waste of your time. You're going to waste 2-3 hours of your day, and God knows how many days and hours, waiting for a reservation to be open. Not to mention, for most people, you're going to make the reservation to ensure that there's space for you, because if you're coming with a group, it's very likely that you will not be able to just walk in and find an open table. You will more than likely either have to split up your group or you won't get a seat at all. There's not always the chance to walk up, but there oftentimes is at least a couple of slots per day that gets freed up by people that do not properly cancel, and or that cancel at the last minute, and they don't allow people to cancel, and then people make same day reservations. I don't know why they make their system that way. It's just the way that it is. So even if somebody were to cancel the day of, you cannot booked the same day. You can do it the day before, but it has to be at least the day before 10 p.m. according to their website. So with that said, yes, like, excuse my voice, it's hoarse. I just woke up, I have the AC on all night. But, yeah, it just blows my mind. It's like, so somebody giving you an honest review makes them negative, or maybe the experience is just negative and we're being honest with you. And it reminds me of my own channel. If I say anything bad about Japan, people always say, oh, you're just being negative, Or am I just being honest with you and I'm bursting your little Gaijin fucking bubble? And so it's like, okay, you joined a group to get advice and tips. If everybody's lying to you and telling you how wonderful and great and fabulous everything is, you're not getting real advice, are you? If somebody says, I'm your friend, I'm supporting you, I'm helping you, and they don't call you out on your bullshit, they don't say, hey, don't do that, you might be making a mistake. If they don't do that, are they really your friend? No. Shoot, some of y'all hoes be in my comment section doing it, especially before I got married. You'll cheat on anything that either I choose to do or, give bad advice. Just see what happens, because it's not your life, right? So it blows my mind that even when you try to make a space for people to be honest with other foreigners, to talk about your own experiences, there will always be an overwhelming majority of foreigners, white people, that'll chime in and get upset at you for telling the truth about what you experienced. And the people are getting mad saying, well, no matter how much you don't like it, they're still going to make money. Doesn't matter how many negative reviews and look. Bitch, calm down. Do you fucking know the creator of this cafe? Do you know the owner of Nintendo? Did your racist father make this place? Like, why do you care so much? Why do you care? All they said was that it's not worth it. They ain't call you stupid for going, like how I would have. They didn't say anything bad about you. They literally just said it was not worth it. Their children would eat the food. It wasn't worth the hassle to get, the reservation. And they even left it off by saying there's better places in the Ginza area that you can dine at. Sounds like a reasonable critique to me. They even gave you a suggestion of where else you should go in Japan. She ain't say, this stuff tastes like shit. You should eat your food only in America. That's not what they said. Calm down, bitch. And so she's not the only person. Like, literally everyone was chiming in and then acting like it's okay to go to a restaurant that has shitty ass food. Just get the dessert. Just get the drinks. Would you eat it in fact, the funny thing about it is, I promise to God, if I were to look up this hoe's name, I ain't gonna dox her. If I were to look up her name and find her Google account and see her reviews in other restaurants, you best believe that bitch done left a 1-star review at some places. Now, how would she feel if I commented back and said, oh, what about this 1-star review you left at this place? They're still gonna make money. They don't care about your bad negative review. It's this brand. They're gonna get whatever. How would you feel about that? You left the review for 2 reasons. One, because you feel cheated. Because you paid money, you paid for an experience that you did not feel was satisfactory. And 2, you call yourself trying to warn other people that this place is not worth it, so they don't make the same mistake that you did. Okay, this woman is doing the exact same thing. Most foreigners coming to Japan are spending a lot of money. There are a lot of poor young people that come here with their last dime with literally just enough money to go to 7-Eleven every day. But for the most part, foreigners that choose to come to Japan typically have a little bit of kachingery. They're the ones that have the good jobs. The doctors, the lawyers, the engineers, etc. People that have money typically choose to vacation in Japan. And that's also why they don't stay here for 3 days, or sometimes not even 7 days. They stay here oftentimes for a couple of weeks or longer. And with that said, they're spending their hard-earned money. They took time off that they could probably only get once per year for that long. They would like to have their money well spent. And I'm sorry to break it to you, but the majority of people going to Pokemon Cafe are not doing it for their children. It's for themselves. As creepy and weird as that may sound to you, it's Japan. To be honest, I kind of like that about Japan. You don't feel weird, creepy, or whatever for being into what's seen as being kiddie or whatnot. It's a nostalgic place. It's a happy place for those of us that grew up with Pokemon. Even with me and my strict ass parents. I enjoyed myself. I don't know everything about Pokemon, and I'll be honest, I haven't seen every single damn episode. But I loved it as a child. I wanted to go for me. When I have children, I'll probably take them there too if they like Pokemon. Even if they don't, just for the experience, for the fun of it. It's solid advice. Calm down. And it's not just a Pokemon Cafe. It's not why I'm getting, in my feelings or whatever, because I just made my own review on it. But rather, I notice this with everything dealing with Japan. You cannot give anybody the solid, honest-to-God truth on anything. You have to always tell them, oh, Japanese people are so perfect. Everyone was so wonderful to me. You have to say everything tasted good. Everything looked great. No one was rude. No bad experiences at all. And then if you do say that, then everybody has to chime in. Well, that wasn't my experience. Everything I ate was delicious. Everything I ate was top quality. Everything that I saw was futuristic. Everything was so advanced. Everyone that I met was so friendly and nice to me. It's like, And where did you spend all of your time? Oh, in touristy areas, didn't you? Oh, yeah, of course. How much Japanese do you know? Oh, not so much, right? And I'm saying this not to belittle you, but rather to say, if you don't know Japan, like how people that live here do, please, kindly, quietly, quickly, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Because if you actually live here, you see a completely different side of Japan, including in the touristy places. There are lots of places that are well known and popular with tourists. For example, the Ikebukuro area. However, like me, somebody that's been there a million times, actually live very close to Ikebukuro now. If you've been there before, you know the Ikebukuro is one of the dirtiest places to eat at. And I ain't gonna lie, they still got some good ass food there in some places. But just keeping it real with you, Ikebukuro and Kabukicho are cockroach central. And I just got through eating that Kabukicho the other night, and then I totally forgot. I was like, oh my god. And then sure enough, I went online, looked at the reviews, and it's like, shit, this place, people complain about how I got cockroaches. I ain't seen nothing. I ain't taste nothing, thankfully. But I'm just saying, keeping it real with you, there's issues there. Now, if I would have commented inside this forum and said, oh, be careful eating at Kabukicho, there's cockroach, somebody would chime in, well, I used to stay in New York and there was a rat on my train. Like, oh, okay, bitch, we're talking about Japan. And you want to know what? Just like how that happened in New York, if New York would have a pizza chain, they got cockroaches or, not ants, cockroaches and rats running through that bitch, it'd be closed down by health inspectors. But in Japan, it won't happen. I'm not even exaggerating to you. So, and people don't want to hear that part of it. You want to believe that Japan is this perfect place so badly that you're willing to waste money on it. And it's like, Kris Jenner, like, who is running Japan's PR team? Because I would love to know who the fuck, like, made it where Japan cannot be criticized. It just blows my mind. People will insult their own country to uplift and praise Japan. Under any circumstances. I mean, come on, it's a fucking Pokemon cafe. You know, this person went out to some 5-star steakhouse and said that it wasn't worth the money. Be grateful that somebody's giving you another perspective instead of lying their ass off. I saw the same thing with Team Labs. People have mixed feelings on. I'll be honest, I haven't been there yet. In fact, the other one that I wanted to go to closed. So it's like, okay, somebody's honest with you and says, hey, it's not really worth the money. Everybody's just going there for the Instagram hype to take pictures and videos because it looks cool, but the experience is pretty shit. Instead of being like, okay, that's a new perspective to take in. Maybe I won't like it. Instead, you try to fight for why it is good and why they're just a, evil, Scrooge, angry, negative person. It's like, okay, are they? Or are they telling you the truth? In fact, let's flip it around. Would you enjoy Team Labs if it were in your home country? And I feel the same way about Disney. People were posting about how Disney is overrated in Japan too. And I'm sorry, as someone who just went there, I agree. I haven't even been to the one in the US. I said this on Patreon. But just looking at people's videos and pictures, Americans that have no skin in the game, just showing you what it looks like. And then, of course, watching and reading blogs like, Disney food blog, etc. I can't help but notice, not only does the food look a lot better, it appears to taste a lot better. There's way more options of variety. The staff are more in character and seem more friendly and outgoing and more willing to help you make your experience good. Sorry, Disney USA seems a gazillion times better than Japan. Sorry to break it to you. In Japan, between people cutting lines, pushing, having stank-ass attitudes, the staff, they did the little waving and whatnot, but, I didn't find them to be super into character like how they were in the U.S. I'm sorry, I don't see it that way. And I feel like, yes, it's overrated. People like it so much because it's Japan, and they want to believe that the people here are so much friendlier and so much nicer. Like, Japanese people are polite in a superficial sense, mainly in the sense that, unlike Americans, I'll be real about this part, it's pretty difficult to get into a fight with a Japanese person under most circumstances. They'll normally try to avoid. There are some crazy people that just aren't in a good mood. Sometimes deal with career women or salarymen that are just angry assholes or whatever. I've had that happen before. But for the most part, people don't give a crap about you. You act crazy, they'll just ignore you, walk away from you, they'll try to de-escalate the situation. That's the only real difference I say as far as politeness goes. As far as the rest goes, it's a huge misunderstanding. We think they're being polite because they're doing stuff out of formality. And I said this a million times before. The whole little bowing and overthinking is just their culture. It's not because they're friendly. Catch these people outside of their little touristy job. They don't want to sit next to you. They don't want to help you with directions. They don't want to talk to you. It's that simple. And a lot of what they do for you is really for Japan and not because they're a good person. They just want to make their country look good. They're getting paid to do this. They've been trained to act this way, talk this way, use little fake high-pitched voices, and be overly helpful. It's just what they do. Are there good people here? Yes, of course there are. Not everybody's bad. But I'm just saying, people really confuse the blurred line between being friendly and being polite. Live here in Japan. Don't just go shopping here and get souvenirs and eat sushi at some little touristy chain restaurant. Actually live here, and then you will start to see the real Japan. Ask people that truly live here, that don't have Japan's dick stuck in their butt. They'll tell you the truth of what it's really like here. And in this situation, I'm not even talking to people that live here. Just another fellow tourist telling you, hey, I'm a tourist too. Hey, my kids are Pokemon fans too. It wasn't worth it. Hey, I'm a tourist too. Disneyland wasn't worth it. Maybe Disney Sea might be a little bit better, but I saw somebody else complain about Disney Sea. They were saying that the food tasted like crap. Wasn't worth it. It was overhyped. It looked a little bit nice, but the long wait times, everything about it made you think, I'd rather go to Disney in the U.S. and this person's from America. So it just blows my mind. You cannot, if you say anything about Japan that's not positive, people call you negative. They call you a hater, and they don't think you're giving real advice. But if I kiss Japan's ass and tell you things are way better than they really were, brag about how good they were, then you'll be like, oh, I want to go there too. Oh, thanks for your review, whatever. And that's scary to think of. So you would give a restaurant 5 or 4 stars just because the dessert was good? Really? Would you do that with an American restaurant or a European restaurant? No, you wouldn't. Why are you doing this shit with Japan? And it's even crazier because unlike in Europe or in America, you ain't gotta make no reservation for no damn thing. You can do it. It'd be nice to do and smart if you know it's gonna be busy, but it's not mandatory. I can't think of a single place in the U.S. that you have to make a reservation for. I know they exist, but not for a cafe. I can't think of a single place. I'm not talking about corona-related stuff, pre-corona, whatever. I'm talking about under normal circumstances. It's a very rare thing. And I ain't from, country bumpkin, USA. I'm from Chicago. I ain't never heard of that shit in my life. So, whatever. It just blew my mind. Okay, somebody's trying to help you out with making your reservations, help you out with deciding what you should do when you go on this vacation. And instead of being grateful for their honest opinion, you're attacking them, accusing them of being a false flagging fan, accusing them of trying to sabotage the Pokemon Cafe business, and reminding them, no matter how much you don't like it, they're still gonna make money anyway. Okay, bitch, nobody said they were. People leave bad reviews from McDonald's. McDonald's don't give a shit about, Walmart too. People leaving 1-star reviews. Oh, they don't have enough registers open. They got about Walmart don't give a fuck. They gonna continue to have 2 registers open until you die, bitch. So you're just telling the truth and warning other people that might care about this. Maybe you want to be in and out of the store. Maybe you don't want to deal with rude staff. So maybe you might decide, you know what? I'm gonna go to Target. I'm gonna go to this Walmart across the street. At least I got 4 stars to 3-star reviews. You see what I'm trying to say? It's no different than that. You understand that. But God forbid somebody try to help keep you from losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, wasting your time. There are literally foreigners that come to Japan just to go to these things. People that come to Japan just to go to USJ. People that come to Japan just to go to the Pokemon Cafe. I'm not fucking kidding you. I'm being honest. If you are going to use your beloved vacation time that you've worked so hard to earn this year and waste it an entire day pretty much, because if you're going to the Pokemon Cafe like most people, you are not going to get lucky and be able to just walk in and sit down. And if you do get able to walk in and sit down, either one, again, you're lucky, or 2, you're probably going to have to wait a while, which means basically you've wasted roughly 2 to 3 hours of your day. And when you're a foreigner visiting Japan, I'm sorry, that's a long ass time for a meal that doesn't taste good, for a baby show essentially. You can find better Pokemon decor decorations, honestly, at the Pokemon Center at Pikachu Sweets Cafe, which both are for even the Nintendo store. Worse, the Nintendo store. So, it just blows my mind that it's like somebody's trying to help you save time and money, and instead of you appreciating a different perspective and their insight, you get mad at them. And let me also remind foreigners too, nobody gives a shit if you like something when somebody's complaining about it. We don't care. If somebody's telling you about their bad experience at McDonald's, we don't need to hear about, well, actually, I went to the McDonald's on 95th Street and they were wonderful. Good for you. Good for you. Nobody asked you. I literally just made a video giving a review of an okonomiyaki place that I liked. And I went and saw the reviews just out of curiosity, because I was like, I know there's going to be somebody that's going to give it a 1-star review. And I was looking at the place and I was like, after eating there myself, watching everything myself, speaking to the staff myself, that restaurant deserved 10 stars. I could not see myself ever even giving it a 4-star review. I felt like I was cheating them by not writing a review. And with that said, I was like, I know some begging and complaining at this comment section. Sure enough, I found plenty of people complaining in the comment section, leaving bad reviews to this place. And I'm like, how? And saying the polar opposite of what I said. Between them saying, they saw bugs there, keeping it real with you, and, that they had rude staff, whatever, people, were, disrespectful to them, and how they had to wait a long time. I mean, all of that stuff, none of that happened. But I could recognize, okay, just because I didn't experience something doesn't mean somebody else didn't experience something. Just because you had a good time and you didn't see racism, you thought you didn't see it, you didn't have anybody treat you badly, you thought nobody treated you badly or unfairly, you have to tell everybody that, it was a wonderful experience. Good for you. If you want to talk about your good experience, please find a video or a post or a blog where people are praising how wonderful Japan is. Don't come to somebody's post where they're talking about their bad experience and have to chime in about how yours was wonderful. It's rude and disrespectful. It's unnecessary. That'd be no different. I said this before. Think of it from a woman's perspective or anyone's perspective. You had a bad relationship with a guy. They argued. They AS'd you. Imagine if his ex-girlfriend commented, well, I dated him for 5 years, not 3, and he never did that to me. That's exactly what you sound like. It's completely unwanted, unnecessary. And just like how she had a good experience, you had a bad one, same thing can happen to you. Just because you're both at the same place, even at the same time, doesn't mean that you're going to have the same experience, the same wait staff. You didn't go at the same hour, more than likely. There's so many different factors. Shoot, your food could have a roach in it and mine's might not. Does that ever cross your mind? It just blows me that people don't understand that. Please stop doing that. And recognize, okay, I had a good time. I enjoyed it. It was nice. I would go back. But you ain't got to tell people on this post. Or in this case, they're not even just telling people they would go back. They're accusing her of ordering the wrong shit. I'm sorry, but if you even look at their website, they are literally encouraging you to get the fucking plates, which is the meal. So you're telling me to ignore the advice of the restaurant, take a random foreigner's advice of what I should order instead, and that does make sense, but hear me out. Clearly they want you to get a plate, so there's nothing wrong with you criticizing and reviewing the main course, which is the plate meal. The Pikachu plate, the Eevee plate, the Snorlax plate. It's totally reasonable, and I'm sorry, the food does taste like It does. It was barely edible. Well, we got a lot of percent like we had a 4-star, 5-star meal or whatever. It didn't taste good. Get over yourself. Team Labs I haven't been, but just going based off of the reviews, seeing people leave, it's a little bit overrated. People like it because it looks cool. But is it worth the time? Is it worth the money? Maybe it is if you come there at a time and there's not a lot of people. But if you're planning a whole day around the trip to go there, maybe not. And again, I live here, so my perspective on things are going to be totally different from yours. If I were to have just been visiting Japan, to be honest, I would have liked the Pokemon Cafe solely because I used to be a really big Pokemon fan. And on top of that, I can also say that, picture worthy. It looks cool. It's a nice little experience. But being realistic, if I was on a crunch time, only had 3 days, I'd feel kind of cheap. Like, damn, I spent all this time, money, and wasted to go here. I could have done something else today. That's how you'd probably feel. And there's nothing wrong with admitting that. It's the truth. So, it just blows my mind that people get mad about that. So, be glad that you had a good experience, sweetheart. Allow other people to say how their experience was, too. You don't have to act like a child, okay? It's so petty and kid-like. Seeing adults attack other adults with their own families, too. We get it. 2 claps for you. You enjoy yourself. And then, get this. Imagine if people that were in good marriages to a Japanese woman were to comment on videos and posts where men are talking about how their Japanese wife kidnapped their child. And they say, well, I'm happily married to my J-wife. My son is right next to me. She didn't run off with my kid. Okay, good for you. I'm glad that didn't happen to you yet. What? Why are you telling everybody this? We get it. I'm talking about my experience. I'm talking about the experiences of other people. Is that really so hard for you to understand? I just don't get it. So, It blows my mind that people act like they have no idea that it's possible for you to have a good experience, somebody else to have a bad one. You can run around, stick your head in the sound, cover your eyes, cover your ears, blah, 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 and do the type of crap for the rest of your life. But I'm sorry. Japan is not perfect. I'm sorry. Japanese people are not perfect. I'm sorry. Not all Japanese food tastes good. In fact, if you were to be honest with yourself, a lot of food in Japan actually doesn't taste as good as it does in the US. Keeping it real. So, there are some things that are really good. For example, I can be honest, I think ice cream overall, if you get it fresh, like from like an actual like ice cream shop, typically tastes better than in the US by far. Most of the time. So, there are some things that are better here, and that's okay to admit. Ramen tastes better in Japan, even the kind you buy at the store. It's okay to say that some things are better. But let's allow people to have spaces, let's allow people to give their opinions, their reviews and things, without you having to chime in about how wonderful your experience was. It's disrespectful, it's rude. Nobody said they're trying to bring down the Pokemon Cafe business, but let's keep it real, Karen. You know damn well you've done it before at places that you didn't like back in your respective home country. So don't play dumb when you see somebody giving their experience, their review, that's not so positive, like how yours probably was. People are literally writing whole paragraphs in this person's comment section about how their experience was so great and about how this person is a real Pokemon fan because their kids loved it. Okay, man. So, I'm done. I can go on ranting about this forever. It just like really pissed me off because I keep seeing this all the time. And it's like, do you all really want advice to come to Japan? Or do you just want people to make you feel jealous and make you wish you were here? That's what I wonder about, because I feel like it's the latter. People really just want people to share pictures and videos that makes them jealous and makes them envious and makes them wish, oh, I wish I was in Japan right now. They don't want to hear the truth about Japan. They don't want to know what their experience might really be like. They don't want advice of where to really go. They just want people to pretend like everything they eat tastes good, everything they drink tastes good, everywhere they went, everyone was so nice, so polite. They want to pretend like everything was perfect. And to be honest, because people have been lied so much about how Japan is so friendly, so polite, so clean, the food tastes so good, the people are so perfect. I'll be honest with you, I don't even think people are trying. Some people, I don't even think they're really trying to kiss Japan's ass. They've just been so brainwashed into believing that Japan is so much better than their home country that they come here and they really do think everything is great, because they've already been fed this mindset that Japan is just perfect. So when you see anything, anyone, any whatever, you think, oh wow, what a wonderful country. Everything's so great in Japan. It takes a minute for that to wear off. And if you're only staying here for a month, even a couple of months, probably not enough time to see that, especially if you're trying to hit all the tourist destinations. It's not going to happen. It's not. I didn't start realizing problems with Japan until I made it to about maybe my 5th month. 6th month, definitely. And that's from living here, not just vacationing and traveling. When you're hopping from city to city, tourist destination to tourist destination, going on, cruises and tours, etc., you're likely not going to get to experience the real Japan. So, I'm done, you all. Hopefully, those of you who watch my channel, you get what I'm trying to say. Obviously, I don't want to discourage you from coming to Japan. Some people do take it that way, and that's between you and Jesus. It's not my fucking problem. I'm here to tell you the truth. I share my real experience of what I go through here. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And of course, because I mostly make journal videos when I am talking to you like this, candidly like this, yeah, of course you're going to hear about negative and bad things. You can watch tons of videos about how delicious matcha is and pretending like sakura flavored stuff actually tastes good. You can see tons of content like that. If you want to live here, like truly, you're not going to benefit from just seeing people talk about crap that's good all the time. Also, sorry, but sakura, flavored and matcha flavored ice cream and cherry blossoms are not a good enough reason to choose to live in a country permanently. Just keeping it real with you. So people don't want to hear that. But again, my channel is to tell you the truth. It's not about making you feel good. It's not about making Japan look good. If something is truly good, I'll brag on it. I'll talk about it. I enjoy living in Japan, so I'm still here. Almost been here for 10 years. I ain't lying to you. I love it. But I can also love Japan and admit there's faults with it as well. Your parents love you. And if you were to ask them honestly what are some things you can improve on, your mama and daddy probably got a whole fucking list for you. So do your best friends. If they're really your friends and really your family, they can correct you. Okay, well, I'm doing that to Japan. I live here and I can acknowledge, well, there are plenty of things I love about Japan. There are things I have to critique too. For example, I talked about this before. Health insurance is cheap as hell. And even if you don't have health insurance, it's extremely affordable to see a doctor here. However, there's a drawback too. You pay for the affordability. They break up everything into multiple appointments to milk you for money. The doctors are not very knowledgeable here, so you don't have to self-diagnose yourself. You get seen right away, but the quality of care is trash. I was literally dying of pneumonia, and they didn't know what I had, and tried to convince me that it was just asthma because I'm fat. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, bitch, I don't have asthma. I know for a fact that I'm sick. Check my lungs, bitch. And sure enough, I was right. I had mycoplasma pneumonia. Oh, you have fluid in your lungs. And I'm not even a fucking doctor. So, little things like this. So, it just blows my mind that people don't want to hear the truth. If you actually stay in Japan for a while, or even fuck this, these people that have been in Japan for a long time, I swear to God, they've had no bad experiences. Let me tell you this, sweetheart. Maybe you don't understand what to look out for where you're being treated differently, but maybe you should make some more foreign friends, read some more forums, watch some more videos, and you will see it's not just me, the big angry black bitch, angry at home complaining. People really do have bad experiences here. It's not just me complaining, sitting at home, talking shit. Like how a lot of you guys think, oh yeah, she's just angry, she's just bitch, she said, why don't she leave Japan? You don't leave America, do you? And a lot of you guys think, oh, I want to, I wish I could. What's stopping you from going to Canada? What's stopping you from going to Mexico? Oh, that's right, you don't want to. Why don't you go back to Europe, where your racist grandfather came from? Oh, you don't want to do that, right? Okay, then just shut up, bitch. So, it also irritates me too, like that whole mindset where it's like, you have to leave the country. I said this before. Why would you leave a place that you worked so hard to get to and stay in to begin with? Why would I leave a place that, your ancestors built? Why is the solution for you to leave instead of for the country to change and make corrections and realize, hey, we're treating people wrong, we're cheating people, we're doing people badly, maybe we should change? How do you think change comes to be in the first place? It's not from people being a coward and running away. If that were the case, women would never have the right to vote. We wouldn't be able to work. Black people wouldn't be able to do stuff together in the same spaces as white people in the U.S. There's so many different things that would not exist if we didn't have people that, fought for us, protested, activists, people that told the truth, people that shed light on real experiences. I think about the whole situation, with Emmett Till, for example. It was thanks to America deciding, black America, we want to draw attention to this. It embarrassed the U.S. and made them have to change. Why? They didn't want that negative attention, negative publicity. It made them look bad. It's unfortunate that it happened, but it drew attention to a bigger problem. Same thing with, Black Lives Matter. I do not support the actual organization, but I support the cause, which is, of course, that black people do matter, and police brutality is an issue, especially against black people. And with that said, it's unfortunate that it took these people's lives, but thanks to it happening, now the entire world has seen what's wrong in the U.S. It's shed light on those problems. Beforehand, oh, you're just playing the race card. The police pull over white people every day. It shed light on stuff that people weren't believing, weren't seeing, didn't understand. And if anybody doesn't get this too, let me also remind you, the police do not have the right to decide life and or death. That's not what their job is. Breaking the law, doing something petty and stupid, does not mean that you have to be killed. That's not how it's supposed to work. They don't do that with white people 9 times out of 10. Watch cases, watch FBI files, watch forensic files, etc. You will see that the way that they, apprehend or whatever, they catch white people, they arrest them, even when they're not following the rules and instructions, is totally different. You cannot justify a police officer shooting somebody 10, 20, 5, 6, 7 times to get them to surrender. You are not dealing with the Hulk or some fucking, superhero or some super villain. They overdo it. It ain't everybody. I got a black friend in the U.S. that is a police officer. The reality is, bad things, bad people, bad stuff does happen. And just because you haven't experienced it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. The same thing goes for Japan. Just because you haven't experienced ghost seeding doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And to be honest, you might be missing it. I told you guys a story a million times. I'll never forget it. I didn't even realize people were avoiding sitting next to me until one day I was really tired, got on the train, and I plopped down on my seat. And the woman I didn't literally plop down where, it distracted people. Even I've seen Japanese people do that before too. She literally immediately flung out of her seat and got off and went to another train car. It happens all the time. I didn't notice until I'd been there for nearly a year. Why? Wasn't paying attention to. It wasn't even in my mind. Didn't care. So, I can go on forever. I'm done, you guys. But please listen to people that are giving you their own experience, even if they disagree with you. I loved my experience. I'm not going to deny the fact this person probably really did see a roach. They probably really did have bad service. They probably really did have to wait a long time to be served. It happens. I can agree with it. I don't have to crap on people because their experience didn't match mine. And if I want to tell people how good my experience was, I can make another post talking about my experience. I don't have to go on their posts and comment, go on their video and comment and take away from their experience. You wouldn't want somebody to tell you, from an ex-boyfriend that you had that was abusive towards you, you wouldn't want his ex-girlfriend or girls that he's dated in the future to say, well, I'm dating him right now and that didn't happen to me. You wouldn't want that to happen. So please don't do it to people that are giving their experiences that are negative, that are not the greatest. Nothing bad happened to her at these places, but she felt she wasted her time, wasted her money. Her children didn't even enjoy it. And I'm sure that at least if her kids liked it, she probably wouldn't have left the bad review and been like, well, my kids enjoyed it, but it just wasn't for me. The reality is they know that it's for adults, which is the reason why they have a separate kids menu. So, just to let you know, yes, the Pikachu plate you're looking at is not really intended for children. It's supposed to be for everybody. Yeah, go figure. Not to mention, you will see a lot of men there by themselves. Not because they're creepy, P words or whatever. They simply like Pokemon. So, Taco Coach is no different than, if they were a Dragon Ball cafe, etc. Pokemon kind of falls into the Animal Crossing realm, where it's seen as, somewhat childlike, girly, feminine, whatever. So for a lot of people, it seems weird and out of place. Like, oh, why are there men here? Why are there adults here, etc. Have you ever thought about the fact that maybe you're using the fact that you're an adult to vicariously whatever, live through your children and pretend like they're really big Pokemon fans and really you want to go? And I found that with Disney too. Like, people complain in the US in particular about, Disney adults and adults ruining Disney, and it's like, Disney knows their money is made from adults, not kids. Kids don't have jobs. They don't have money. And a lot of stuff you can do at the park isn't even available for children because you got to be a certain height. And with that said, it's made for grown people. Sorry to burst your bubble. I get what you're trying to say, but at the same time, it's like, it's not made for babies. You want to find a place for babies? Go to Chuck E. Cheese. So, and Japan is the same way, but different. In Japan, it's the reverse. It's mostly adults, but very few children. The U.S. is the same, but I mean even less children. And it's not because of the whole population situation. It's just that people don't bring kids to Disney. Why? They do nothing but drag you down. You got to deal with nap times and feeding them when they want to and telling them no when they want toys, etc. It's literally a date spot. It's like Christmas. Christmas in Japan is about couples. It's not about children like how it is in the U.S. So, I'm done. That's that. Finished with this video. I can go on ranting forever like how I keep saying to you guys. Please leave your comment down below. Chime in, give me your 2 cents. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's not about just crapping on Japan, hating. You're giving your own personal, solid advice and opinions to help other people decide what they want to do. And of course, forget about helping people decide what they want to do. You're just sharing your own experience. When I talk about people that I date, I'm not trying to help you guys decide, who to avoid dating, which is why I don't even drop names most of the time. I'm just telling you, man, this person was effed up that I dated. That's that. You might go on and date him, love him, and marry him. Good for you, but it ain't finna be me. So I'm telling people why I chose not to. And why I think you should choose not to. But somebody out there gonna go after one of my sloppy seconds. And you'll take one of my exes, and that's cool. I don't want them. So, should I marry now? That's all for this video. So please leave a comment down below. Please like this video if you haven't already. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. As always, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Comic95. I have a Snapchat and TikTok at Comic the Savior and a Facebook fan page at Comic95 the Savior and a blog at Comic95.com. You can also check out my YouTube channel's homepage. I have playlists from just about everything. Living, dating, working, studying here in Japan. So if you have any questions, I've probably already answered them there on my YouTube channel's homepage. I have a playlist and everything, but if not, please also feel free to leave a comment down below or send me an email directly. Email, not a DM. Email me with your questions and I will try my best to answer your question in a future video. Again, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you have not, and leave a comment for me. It helps out my channel. And that's all for this video. So thank you for listening and thank you for watching, and I hope you'll watch another video. Bye.